Hello and welcome to Let's Build a Fully Functioning Battleship. It's Fimber here, and I haven't done Let's Build videos for a long time, since like March I think. The reason for that is because it took up a lot of my time, and it really wasn't worth the view count I was getting. Like to spend like 10 hours on a video and get 6,000 views or 10,000 views. To me, it wasn't really worth it when you can just do a mini game and get the same. But now I've got a really cool idea, and hopefully it's get a lot of views because it's awesome. I'm going to build an absolutely massive aircraft carrier / battleship, fully functioning, moving, shooting, missile launchers, torpedoes, every fucking thing. It's going to be huge, it's going to be awesome, and I'm building it for the Ship Sinkers video that I'm going to be doing. So basically, this is David's ship, that he's built so far. So he's gone for like the old piratey galleon theme. But he's also going to fit missile launcher on it. And basically, the idea of the video, oh my god, frame rate. The idea of the video is basically we're all going to take it turns to fire missiles at each other, and the last man standing with a few like guys left. So we're going to fill our boats with test certificates, and the one who has the most surviving. The rules are though that we're not allowed to use blocks that are like almost indestructible, so like the reinforced concrete and stuff. We have to use sort of vanilla-ish blocks so that we don't have hacks. So that's David so far. You'll probably see that improve during the video because I think he's going to be building as well. But yeah, without further ado, let me get building some insane ship. So hopefully you'll enjoy. And here we are. So the first thing I did was I fleshed out the hull, or the front of it anyway. So you can see here I'm trying to sort of mimic the front of an aircraft carrier hull. So basically the way they look, I was looking up Google Images while doing this, is they're very sort of sharp at the front, like quite pointed. Now you can just see me showing like the markings underneath to show how big it is going to be. Pretty big. So yeah, the front, I made this out of tin blocks by the way, because iron blocks have like rivets in, and it didn't look quite right. So now you can see I've done some more. I've made it fleshed out a bit more at the front, around the sides, and I've also done the back, which we're just heading towards now. So the back's a lot steeper. It doesn't need to be as pointed as the front, because obviously you don't really reverse in a fucking aircraft carrier. So yeah, it doesn't need to be as pointed to cut through the water as efficiently. Now we're going underneath again just to show sort of like the markings where I'm going to put the rest of the hull. This will be completely underwater, and I'll remove the water later on. I'll show you how. It's quite a cool way of doing it. It saves time. Yeah, it's pretty big. It's pretty big. So there's the back of it. I've built that all underwater. Kind of hard to see what I'm doing, but there we go. So now you can see me removing the water with a force field. Now I've filled in the whole hull. Now what I'm doing is just marking out the force field so it's the right size, because this will delete blocks, so I don't want it to delete the actual frame. So I can't do the front and back of the ship, but I can do the whole square middle bit. So what I do is come to the force field and change it to a disintegration module, and then move it backwards so it doesn't destroy itself. So we go disintegration module, then add in the sponge module, and you'll see when I look up that the water dissolves instantly. Look at that, it's all gone. Imagine how long that would take to get rid of normally. That's just the epic power of force fields, and it's how we'll be moving this monstrous thing later on. So I go down and move it back a few blocks to finish for the rest. There's counting there, 3 blocks back. So I scale it back 3, and you'll see it starts mining out its own platform, but the actual water itself gets deleted as well. So that's why I had to be careful not to break any of my own blocks. So I just turn that off, and then the rest of it I have to get rid of manually, which actually takes a lot long. Even though there's not that much water, it takes a long time to get rid of that. I have to fill it all in with sand using a filler, which, believe me, it still took quite a long time. And I had to punch it all out using torches. You can see some torches there, so I use the torch method where you break the bottom block, shove in a torch, and then the whole stack gets lit. So it took, even that took a while. You can see a panning shot of David's ship being built in the process there, little sneak peek. And back to mine. So now we've got the entire hull completely emptied out on the inside now, no water, and I've built up the sides. It looks quite like flat at the sides, don't worry, that changes, but you can see that it's pretty big, the front and back of the ship. It took me quite a long time to do this. I think it took me 3 hours to get to this point, and I'm showing you the underneath now to show it's actually all built underneath as well. Kind of awkward to do all that. Yeah, trust me, when this thing gets moving, it's going to be awesome. And just looking underneath here as well, it's kind of hard to see underwater. I'm not really sure I did this shot, to be honest, but it's looking pretty good with the sunset behind it, and it's only not even half done. Next, I've started building the runway area for it. So this is like the catapult takeoff zone for the smaller aircraft, because if you didn't realise, on aircraft carriers they don't fly off on their own. They have like a trebuchet sort of system to get them up to speed, because they're not big enough to get a full runway on them. and I sort of marked it out. So they sort of taper outwards and then come back inwards at the back. And you can see it's sort of suspended above the actual front of the ship, because that's how they are on actual ship designs. And now the rest of it, I do this panning shot quite a lot. It's quite good. Filled in the rest of the airway. So I'm using rock wool for this, so that it won't set fire when I get shot by missiles, which would probably be quite useful. And I did sort of the diagonal runway. I actually changed that in a minute because it doesn't look quite right. It's too sharp and not long enough. I can see some random stray blocks there where like the fillers just missed it out a bit. And here you'll be able to see from the front it's starting to look pretty good now. I fleshed out the sides there a bit because the thing hanging off the edges didn't look quite right, so I put in like support type things, and it fills in the edges quite nicely. I changed the runway so it's more out of the diagonal sides, and I put the placement where the tower is going to go. Next, I built the tower. This took quite a long time to get it to look right, but I think it looks pretty damn awesome. I used like fence posts and iron blocks and different types and steel blocks to flesh it all out. I've got like a viewing tower at the top and 2 at the sides, then all the way around, and then we've got sort of the antenna at the top, which will scan around in a minute. So you can just see the detail I gave to sort of break it up. If I hadn't used that, it would have just looked awful. And you can see the sort of antenna at the top. I think I did a pretty good job with this. This is the hardest detailing bit of the ship I had to do, really. It's the most important part of the ship, in my opinion, like view-wise. And this is actually where our force field system will probably be placed, so we can move our ship. So we'll be sitting in here, driving our ship from that point, which is going to be pretty awesome. Next, you can just see the inside of the hull and how big it is. And we're going to like break this up into layers and have some decks and stuff in here, and have some like people living areas and stuff like that. And I used railcraft like ladders so that it looks more rust or metallic. So I split it into 2 decks. We have an upper deck and a lower deck. This is 2 blocks thick, so it should hopefully protect me from some missiles. I put quite a lot of lighting in here. I'm actually using night vision potions so you can see it clearly, but it's a little bit darker in reality. Just scanning around, you can see this is going to be the sort of areas with the kitchens and some of the bedrooms. And here is the nuke reactor, which is, every ship needs a power system. So for ours, we've got a fully functioning fission reactor. I might add in some extra like machines in here later to flesh it out a bit, but this is basically the power core of our ship. Next, I did the upstairs, which is actually where the bedroom's going to be. So if you have a look in here at the bedrooms, or like the bunk deck, all of our crew here, all of our certificate crew, are going to be sleeping here, which I'll add in at the very end. And then these are sort of the elite quarters for the captain and like the top officers of the ship, who are in control of actually driving it and all that sort of stuff. And they've got some nice paintings and sort of a basic layout. I mean, ships don't really have that much luxury on them, to be fair. Neither do submarines. And here's like the mess hall. I tried to make chairs, but I didn't really have any blocks that were able to. I should have got the jammy furniture mod in this, really, but I didn't think about it. And here's the kitchens next to the mess hall at the very back of the ship. So I used railcraft ovens because they kind of look like baking ovens or like mass cooking ovens. And I used an actual bunch of powered furnaces for sort of other cooking purposes, and sort of 2 little wash sink kind of things. It's sort of the best sort of designing you can do with that. And if you look on the top now, I've just added in some turrets so I can actually fight my enemies. 2 radar dishes. I might move them in the future, I'm not sure, but I think they add to the look of it. 2 missile launchers at the back so I can fire missiles, and some anti-aircraft guns, just for sort of stylization. And then if we go downstairs and to the bottom deck, just heading down there now, you can see I've got sort of another fighting deck. I tried to make some military hardware and design missiles in here, like laying down, but they looked really bad. So I decided to instead go for sort of cannons underwater, or torpedoes as such. So you can actually fire these underwater and aim at the ships, so you can destroy their underneath of that hull. Okay, so now we get to do the fun part of the build, the bit where we make this entire thing move and hopefully not crash the server. So the first thing we need to do is get one of these Fortron capacitors. I'm going to explain this step by step, so you can do some creative mode as well. You will need the MFFS3 mod, the Modular Force Field System mod. And God, it's such a cool mod. Well done to Clavica who made this. It's just amazing. So first things first, we want to get a Fortron capacitor. These are basically what store the Fortron power, and we're just going to shove an infinity card in there so that we can give ourselves infinite energy, and we'll turn it on, and bang, instantly infinite. We'll just leave that like that. That's pretty much. We might want to get the speed upgrades in them actually as well, so that they transfer energy quicker to our objects that are moving the things, because they're going to require a lot of power. So that's that. That's just our basic power using an infinity card if you're in creative. If not, you're going to need a coercion deriver, which will turn any MJ energy or any Volts energy, I believe, into the Fortron energy here. Next thing we need is these force manipulators. These are what will actually move our ship. Okay, so firstly, we're going to want one. We want these to be controlled by levers as well. Now, firstly, I'm probably just going to make the ship move forward at first, and then off camera, I will do side to side and backwards. It's probably going to get messy, but I'll figure out where to put them. Also, I had to get rid of the steel blocks because you can't place redstone on steel, and we kind of need redstone. So what I might do is on each level, I'll have a control to change the direction of the ship. So like this might be left and right, or just left. Layer down might be right, and the bottom layer can be back, because no one ever goes backwards on a ship. Well, I mean, you might need to reverse it. But anyway, so let's just... I can't fly up. Oh yeah, I can. There we go. So we need two of these. So the way these work is they work kind of like legs. So we need one in front here, and then one back, just next to it like that. Okay, and you can see these are getting power here, lovely. Now, we want to probably put capacity upgrades in them, just so they can store more energy, because moving something of this scale, this one probably won't need them. Actually, I'll put it in there anyway. It can't hurt. And also, let's just get back to modules. Module, speed modules. Let's get a few of these, put them in there. Oh, not in there, in here. So this means they'll get, they'll retrieve their energy faster, or will it mean they'll build their forces faster? I'm not sure, but we'll see. So, right, now, next thing, I need a wrench. I forgot about that. A wrench. It's very important that these are rotated in the right direction. So, currently, we are facing east, okay? You see on the minimap, I'm facing east. So, these need to be facing east as well, okay? So, facing north, now it should be facing east. Now, if I had the latest version of the mod, you can actually go up and down as well, which is useful for flying vessels. And I was actually going to make a plane that could fly, but firstly, it looked terrible in the regular blocks, and secondly, I couldn't make it fly. So once I get that added in, I might make a spaceship or something. I'm not sure. You can see a Robin Rich's ship sort of starting to take place over there. Very not done yet, but I'm excited to see what they look like. So let's just change this one as well. This should be east as well now. Awesome. Now, the first thing we need to do is change this to... we want to get it off anchored so it can move, and so basically what the anchor does is it means that it will stay in position while everything else around it moves. Whereas if you take the anchor off, it is able to be moved as well. Whereas normally it would just never move; it'd just stay in place all the time. And this red block here is like showing us where is going to be moved. So I actually need another cube module to do this. I need two cube module. Now you want to just, depending on the shape of what you're moving, you want to decide what you want to put. So cube module in here, and currently it's showing us that currently it's going to move this block forward one if you let the cycle go through. So we actually want to move this block forward one actually, so they can work like a pair of legs. So we need to translate this back one and across 1, 2, 3. Okay, so translation module back 1 and across 1, 2, 3. Okay, and now it should be moving this one. Unless it's reversed it, because... Oh, no, it is working. Okay, there we go. So now, when I flick this lever, this will move forward, okay? So we can just leave that disabled for now, and we'll just stop that so it doesn't show up. Now, this one is the harder one. This one is required to move the entire ship. Now, this could get laggy, so let's just... is it getting to night or day? Let's set it to dawn again. Beautiful dawn. Oh, there we go. So, this is going to take a lot of scaling out. So we want to set it to this mode again. Okay, now cube module in it again, because we're just going to move an entire cube of the ship. I mean, we might drag some water, well, we will drag some water with us, but hopefully it won't mess up the ocean too much. It might do, because we're kind of underwater. If you don't want this to happen with your boat, just build it on the surface, but we'll test to see if it actually does move it. So currently this one's moving itself forward one block, as you can see, but it won't actually move its block because it just won't. So the next thing we need to do is scale it out to the side. So I think we're going to need to go... I need to measure this. So it's like... I'm going to have to probably break through this wall. Just so I can get in and out easily. To figure out how big it is. So it needs to go... Is this the very edge of the ship? I think this is actually... Oh, it needs to be, I guess, wider at the front, doesn't it? So it needs to be... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks wider. Let's try that. 9 blocks. Okay, so 9 blocks to the right. And we need to use scale modules this time, so I've got a lot of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. Now I think the biggest you can actually have this is like 128 each direction, because that's the you've got 2 slots for each. So I think that's. But if you've got to use scale module, translation modules as well, it won't work. So let's just have a look outside, see if this is moving it about right. Let's have a look. That looks about like it would move the entire ship. Let's just we can always scale it out one more. I think this is about right though. We'll see in a minute. Okay, that looks good to me. So next we want to go down and up, I reckon. Or do we want to go to the left next? Actually, let's go to the left. So this is going to need to be considerably bigger. So just break through here. So it's going to need to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh god. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, probably 29 to the right, left even. So let's just put that in there. And this is where eventually it'll start getting laggy. It might not. It depends how the server holds up. So let's just get half a stack. 29. Just dump that in the left slot. And now it should be much bigger. So if I just get outside, there we go. So now it looks like it's starting to look more like it. Look at that. So it's moving all of this area in a straight line at the moment, forward 1 block. Now we need to stretch it out forward and back. I mean, we might as well do forward and back. So back is going to need to be a long way as well. So let's just break through so I don't damage any of this. Here, there we go. So it needs to go back. Oh god. Right, I'm just going to scale it back. I'm not even going to count this time because there's so many. Let's just start off with like scale back. Stack is big. That might be too big though. I think that's too much. Yeah, it's nowhere near 64 blocks, is it? Let's just have a look. No, it's way too. It needs to be maybe half a stack, 20 something blocks. That's gonna. Otherwise, I'm just gonna move like half the bloody ocean. And you can see every time it's happening, I'm sort of getting a weird bit of lag. It's not really that bad at the moment, but so 32. Right, let's have a look at this. See where it comes at the edge of the ship. We'll just sit at the back. Oh, okay. So I think that might be a little bit short. Let's have a look. Ooh, that might. I'm gonna make it like 34, and that way it's covered, and we'll always go back and shorten it. So let's make that 34. Now to the front. Oh, we're gonna need. Is it longer to the front? I'd say it's probably about this. Oh, it might be a bit longer. So let's try like 40 block or 30. Let's just try 32 again, half a stack, and then see where it does it. So 32 forwards. There we go. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just gradually scaling up, so it'll move the entire ship. Dear God, that's big. Okay, right. Just get back over here. Let's see if we'll actually get to the front of the ship because we don't want to cut anything off. Is it going to do it? Oh my god. Okay, has it not done it? It's not showing the front of it moving. Unless I have got... Oh yeah, no, that is 32. Oh god, it needs to be way more than that then, doesn't it? Jesus, okay, right. Really more than that? Wow, okay. So let's try like another 32. Oh god, another 24, let's say. Forwards. Oh god, this is going to be quite... Oh my god, look at, it's kind of hard to see anything. Okay. This moving towards people is going to scare the crap out of him. Okay, that's too much now. You can see it's about... how many blocks too far, do you reckon? Let's have a look. About 5 blocks too far. So let's just cut it off like 3, just to be sure. And then we should be okay. Oh my dear God, see, I'm getting like... It's getting huge now. So let's take them out and let's get rid of 1, 2, 3. Okay, that looks about right. Now we've got to go down and up. This is where it's going to get ridiculous because it's multiplying the blocks by a ridiculous amount. So... 1, 2, I can count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And the rain is not going to help with it. The lag. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 up. Oh my god, look at that. Look at it. Okay, right, 27 up. Okay, oh god. Oh, and just, yeah, my frame rate drops like 17 each time it tries to move. This should be interesting. Okay, 17 up. So let's just get half a stack and then half a stack again. 16, add 1. Oh god, right. Please don't crash. Up, 17. Oh god, I'm waiting for the lag. Let's just see if it covers the top of it. Oh, and I crashed it. So yeah, that was too big. So Come back in a minute once I see if I can get this to not crash. Okay, so it turns out the force fields I was using were way too big for the sort of ship size that I wanted to move and all of that kind of thing. So the force fields do move things quite nicely actually, but I think I'm using some weird block types that the mod's not programmed to move. So I think these railcraft ladders are screwing it up, the illuminators are screwing it up, and I've got quite a lot of blocks in this ship that can't be moved. So when you're building your own ship, you're going to have to experiment a bit. Or you can use the Archimedes ship mod. So I've made this plane here, seriously, should have pointed that out first, a nice big bomber plane to add to my ship. Because as this can't move itself, I kind of want a way to fly over to my enemies and manually drop bombs on them. So I'll show you that in a second. Firstly, I'll just show you the ship marker, which is from Archimedes Ships and Mods. We changed the mod pack over quickly. So if I put this down here, I can put it at the front. Normally the ship would move, but because it's so big it won't. So if I right click on it, cannot be more than 2,048 blocks. So this is, I think, quite a lot more, because even David's ship, I tried it on his, and his is way more than that as well. So just make sure it's not ridiculously huge if you want to make your ship move. I mean, this is really big. You could probably make it like a third of this size and it'd move, I reckon, quite nicely. And that's still a big ship. So I think Richard's submarine's going to move, and Rob's going to build a ship at some point, and that's going to move as well. So look forward to that in the video. For now, I'm going to make my plane fly. I made a nice little bomber, and I'm going to fly over and show you what's going down. So let's just get into F1 mode. Nice mode. So you can see, basically, you have to lose a lot of these balloon blocks to make it float. But to be fair, it doesn't actually look that terrible. I had to make it quite big to get the scale right. I couldn't make a fighter jet type plane because it didn't look quite right. So I've made a sort of a kind of a bomber plane anyway. Well, to be fair, I wanted to bomb the ships anyway. Fighter jets don't really attack planes that much. It's more a bomber's job. So let's just head out, and I can rise up. Ooh, if I hit F5, you can see me sort of sitting in my seat like this, flying away in my plane. Oh, open my inventory, flying away. Oh yeah, look at it go. So I'll just fly over towards David's ship. Imagine them seeing this coming towards them. Look at this. So just raise up again. I changed my control so up's going up. So yeah, I can actually have an aircraft carrier with an actual plane take off from it, which is pretty awesome. So let's just fly over to David's ship. He's done quite a lot to it. It looks quite nice. So let's just try and not crash into it. Oh, I think I'll just clip right through it actually. Let's have a go. Oh god, this could be in disaster. Oh god, let's try and fly between the sails. Oh god, it's gonna bug out if I do that. Okay, turn around. Oh, so you can see a ship though. And this thing is quite big. Oh god. Okay, keep going forward. It's a little bit of a buggy mod, but it's pretty cool. I like it. It's a nice addition. It makes my ship have a final thing. So let's just go land my plane on the runway. See if I can actually do this. Oh god, this is gonna be so much fun to play. I can't wait to blow these ships up and have my plane fly now. Also, if I stop the plane in midair, it'll snap to whatever angles, and I can just get out, and I can drop grenades like a bomb, or I can fire missiles down at my enemies and then fly away again. It looks pretty cool, I think. I mean, it's not bad for Minecraft blocks. It could be a lot worse. So let's just get back in, and let's try and land my plane back on the runway. I'll land it on this way. Ooh. Oh, I do love this mod though. It's quite a cool mod. And when you see it working on an actual ship, you'll be it's just so smooth. So let's just try and get onto. Ooh, come on, land. That's it. Here we go. We're going in for landing. Slow down. Oh, yeah, and just lower down a bit. There we go. I don't want to be completely touching the ground. I want to be up a little bit. There we go. Snap to. Ta-da! And then we've got my plane landed safely. Look at that! And we can turn it around on the runway and stuff. How awesome is that? So, yeah, this has been Let's Build a Battleship. I'm sorry the force field thing didn't actually move the ship. I think it's just because it was so big that it can't actually move it without completely crashing it. So when you're making your own ship, you can definitely move them with force fields. Just make your ship a bit smaller, or use the Archimedes ship mod, and you can make it move like an actual boat. In fact, I might show you that quickly, actually, just to demonstrate, because I'm sure some of you might want to see how it looks for those who haven't seen. So let's just grab some random block, concrete, and I'll just make a very, very basic boat. Well, I don't know what I'm saying there. My brain was lagging as the server was lagging. Oh, David's joined in. He's probably going to finish his boat out. I'm just going to make a crappy little I'm not even going to make a boat. Mine's literally just going to be a platform like that, just to show you how it works. And I'll put a ship marker on the front, and now we've got a boat, and it bounces up and down. You can float it around. So if I hit F5, look at this go. Look at this, and you can have actual huge boats up to 2,000 blocks that will do like float like this. So look how awesome this is. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and give you some insights to stuff I'm building in future. In future, I might make a spaceship or something like that. We'll have to see. So yeah, for now, thanks for watching, and goodbye.